This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Downtown St. Louis and the homestand continues. And then this Friday night, it's game number 1 of a 3-game series, the Colorado Rockies and the St. Louis Cardinals. And we welcome you to the broadcast booth here at Busch Stadium with Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Great to have you with us. And Jimmy, it's Nolan Arenado facing his former team tonight.
Well, you knew it was coming, right? Tonight is the night, and sure he's a little nervous. I'm sure everyone's waiting to see what's going to happen, but I'll tell you what, Cardinals got the great end of this deal, and this guy is the real deal.
He is in the lineup tonight. Austin Gomber, who was part of the package sent to Colorado, pitching against St. Louis tonight. And we take a look at our Liberty Mutual Insurance field coverage and the franchise rankings in terms of games, hits, home runs, runs batted in for third baseman Nolan Arenado playing out west in Denver. He's one of the best third basemen in all of baseball. He'll be on display tonight. The aforementioned Austin Gomber going for the Rockies. For the St. Louis Cardinals, it's Jack Flaherty. He's 5-0. Rockies, Cardinals coming up on Bally Sports. Jack Flaherty delivers our first pitch tonight, Jimmy.
Yeah, this fastball that you're going to see tonight is one of the best in the league. Maybe not the tops of velocity all the time. Sneaky pinpoint placement. And because of that, we're going to see this graphic coming up right here. One of the best so far this year.
Glass now at 151, the average against his fastball. Then it's Bauer and Flaherty, 153. Brandon Woodruff, very good for the Brewers, and he is 4th on that list. Nolan Arenado facing his former team. One of the Rockies' all-time greats, now wearing that Cardinal red. Baseball is coming up. Arenado comes up and makes the Cardinals pay.
It's a home run and a long one off the bat of Nolan Arenado.
Arenado at the wall! Welcome to St. Louis, Nolan! Third time in the history of the Rockies, a great player has left Colorado and ended up in St. Louis. We saw Larry Walker, Matt Holliday, and now it's Nolan Arenado. Game 1 of a weekend series here at Busch Stadium. The Colorado Rockies and the St. Louis Cardinals, 71 degrees. And away we go with Jim Edmonds, the Cardinals Hall of Famer. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And a familiar face for Rocky fans. It's got to be painful for them to tune in tonight and see Nolan Arenado with that Cardinal red in the STL, because he was a terrific player in Denver.
Well, you're right. I would think it is, especially you're talking about a guy who is there the last few years with no real superstar anymore. You talk about the, obviously the teams in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then Todd Helton's gone, and then, you got DJ LeMahieu is now in New York, and so he was there, and he is the main guy. He's the guy you see everyone wearing that jersey, and then tonight he's wearing that jersey, same number, different color.
And their top third base prospect coming to replace Nolan Arenado just got suspended, so the hits keep on coming right now for the Rockies, although they have had pretty good production from their third base spot combined. Jack Flaherty, good production. He's getting all kinds of run support, and this season his record, Jimmy, 5-0.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a great job making adjustments. As you see the Hyundai pitch arsenal, 4-seam fastball, not very much with the 2-seamer, but the changeup, not very much either, but the slider is his pitch. And I don't know why we have it listed in that way. You would think it would be a little bit more on the percentages, but fastball, slider, trying to be a little bit more in the zone, a little bit more, trying to work deeper into the game.
So Tapia, then Story, who's been red hot, then McMahon, Blackman, Hampson, the former Cardinal Matt Adams, Fuentes, Nunez, and Gomber. So a couple of former Cardinals in the lineup tonight for the Rockies, in Matt Adams and Austin Gomber. 6-game hitting streak for Tapia, and he looks at his strike, and we're underway. Currently 8th in the batting race in the National League, hitting .312. He's popped 4 home runs. He's driven in 19. Arenado in on the grass at third. Back to Jack, and that's an out.
And that's going to hurt your hands right there. As I was going to say, as that first pitch that he threw, it looks like he could just make that pitch all day long, just down and away. Strikes all day long as you look at the Cardinals defense.
And that's presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. O'Neill, Bader, Carlson in the outfield. Arenado, 8 years with the Rockies, now with St. Louis. DeYoung at short. Edmund Goldschmidt on the right side. Andrew Kisner is behind the plate.
I've said enough, and we always say it, but for the people that don't tune in that much, 8 years with the Rockies, 8 Gold Gloves.
It's incredible to win it that rookie year. That's kind of when you establish yourself, you know?
I don't even know if you can establish. You have to be.
You get a reputation.
Yeah, well, but I mean, you're right. You establish yourself. But how hard is it to establish yourself? You have to be some kind of defensive player for the entire league to take notice your first year.
It's awesome. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike on Trevor Story. The shortstop hitting .304. 7-game hitting streak coming into play. .440 his last 7 games. 3 doubles, couple of home runs. And the 1-1 pitch.
Well, I had some time today, and so I really kind of dug a little bit deeper into Jack's starts, and it's really funny is he's 5-0. But there's a lot in there still. There's more in the tank. There's more brain power for him. He wants to learn. And so I was kind of doing a little bit of research, and I'm starting to notice that a lot of times pitchers will come into the dugout and say, I can't believe that guy didn't even swing at that pitch. It was a great pitch. So I started kind of thinking about why that is. And well, I started seeing some things that popped out of the page of Jack. There's a lot of things where he gets ahead. And when he gets ahead,
inside corner, struck him out.
He only throws 50% strikes after he gets ahead. And that's why you see a lot of guys taking pitches because they don't think he's going to keep coming at them consistently. This is just a really nice pitch, Danny, right here. And this is where he's got to pitch. He's got to pitch in and out and up, especially, I think, for him. And he's just got such an explosive fastball. But that kind of caught me off guard. Right? 50% of the time
I think
his strike percentage after being ahead in the count.
It goes to the point of such good stuff. Use it. Go after guys. Here's Ryan McMahon, the second baseman, good player, 260, 65 the average. 8 home runs he's driven in 21.
That's the pitch right there. I feel like he can sleep and throw that pitch. About 90% of his effort, 94 mile an hour straight fastball on the outside, black to lefties, down at the bottom.
John Lipka is the home plate umpire. Chad Whitson at first, Jim Reynolds the crew chief, he's at second, Tony Randazzo down at third. The 2-1 pitch. Cardinals have seen the 6th most strikeouts through 32 games, but a lot of walks. As we saw yesterday, as they walked 11 in the game against the Mets. Mets stranded 17. Fouled back. Just an ugly baseball game with 11 walks by the Cardinals, and the Mets with all kinds of opportunities. Wound up being a tight game. Bottom of the 9th, the Cardinals had the tying run at the plate. They stranded 17 in that game. The 2-2 pitch. And a base hit into left.
I don't mind that though right there, right? Made a good pitch. Guy's hitting third in the order for a reason. Fights it off. No big deal. Just need to get that ball in there just a little bit more.
There's Charlie Blackmon. He is one hit shy of passing Carlos Gonzalez, third most in franchise history in hits. He's at 1,330. And the only players ahead of him, Hall of Famer Larry Walker and then Todd Helton, the all-time leader in hits for the Rockies, right around 2,500. So 2 outs and a runner at first. You don't see that very often, where the home plate umpire asks the umpire in the field near the second base bag to move in the field and line of vision there in the batter's eye.
Well, that is normally because most guys won't ask the umpire to tell the other umpire you're in the way. That's the hitter saying, hey, I don't like where he's standing. Can you please get him to move a little bit?
Blackman 10 for his last 32 with a home run, a couple of doubles, but he's driven in 9. He's made the most of it. Here's a 1-1. Ripped into right field and a base hit. So a pair of 2-out hits, and it brings in the center fielder Garrett Hampson.
I think Charlie Blackmon is just probably a guy that still pretty underrated. This guy can hit and hit and hit. That's just a fastball too much of the plate. Can't believe when I look down he's only hitting 200. It's one of those guys you just look up every year, and for a while was leading everyone in leadoff homers, leadoff RBIs, leadoff hits. Like, just one of those guys that just goes out there every day and ho-hum does his job, but does it really well.
So with that hit by Charlie Blackmon, now third all-time in franchise history, in Rockies history in hits. First pitch was a strike to Garrett Hampson. This guy's got great speed already with 7 stolen bases this year. And the 0-1 pitch by Jack Flaherty. Pitch number 18 here in the first. Left side, kept on the infield. And the bases will be loaded. They throw behind and got him. Where is Blackmon going? Heads up play by both DeYoung and Tommy Edman, and Blackmon runs the Rockies right out of the inning. Don't see that very often from Charlie Blackmon. Really a heads up player, good player. And take a look here. He's your base runner at first, but the play's in front of him, Jimmy.
You're right, and I think he just reads this wrong. Actually, to be honest with you, I thought when he looked up, as I was watching the runner at third, he was running full speed, and I thought he was going to run through the stop sign. And then when I looked back, maybe Charlie thought the same thing, but when he looked over there, it was too late. So I think sometimes you just have one of those brain malfunctions out there, and you walk back out to your position saying, what was I doing?
This is one of those plays.
What was I doing? You don't even want to go back in the dugout after that.
Here's Tommy Edman against Austin Gomber, and first pitch a fastball, then a strike. Edman, Carlson, Goldie, then Arenado, DeYoung, O'Neill, Bader, Kisner, Flaherty, the starting 9 for St. Louis. 1 ball, 1 strike. Austin Gomber, 7th start, record of 2-3. You take away 1 bad start, his ERA in the other 5 starts is under 3.5.
Well, you know what jumps off?
He's got good stuff. We know that.
Jumps off the page for me. 29 innings, 20 walks. He's walked 8 out of 32 batters with runners in scoring position, and 15 out of 87 right-handed hitters. That's a lot of walks.
The Hyundai pitch arsenal. We know he's got the big curveball. Low to mid 90s fastball, at times hit mid 90s. Not very much is it going to be used, because you're going to see that big old bender that catches the top of the zone.
Well, he's got one of those breaking balls that literally, when it comes out of his hand, it is way over your head and comes straight down. If he gets that pitch today, these guys for the Cardinals are going to have to See how high that ball starts right there. It's way over his head and over Tommy's head. But if that's the case, you better be ready to hit the fastball and hit it early.
Issues for Gomber, too, on the road. He's had 20 innings pitched, ERA about 7.5, 16 earned runs in the 20 innings. Here's Dylan Carlson. So you couple that with the walks. 20 walks, 4th most in baseball. And you got to wonder, when a guy goes to Colorado and you've got a big old curveball like that. We saw what happened with Darryl Kyle. Had to get out there to get it back, to come to St. Louis. And just how tentative at times you might be as a pitcher when you pitch at Coors Field. It would just be
trying to be too careful. He's probably super excited to pitch here tonight. A little heavy air. See that first big breaking ball. The 80% of his strikeouts are with the breaking ball. So there's something we're missing, or something he's missing so far this year, is, like I say, with the control. But usually, like you said, there's usually 1 or 2 starts when a guy has stuff like this that can really ruin the beginning of your season, and it takes you a while to get it back.
And Dylan Carlson hits it out of play, batting .444 against lefties this year.
And the one good thing about hitting against a guy like this is, you know what you're going to pick up really early? The breaking ball. So if you're not coming out of your shoes, which I think you probably should be against this guy, because the fastball is coming right down out of his hand and the breaking ball really hops up, you're going to see it. You just got to be balanced enough to stay back and not swing at it.
2 strikeouts for Gomber to start his night. Round the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Tapia, Hampson, Blackman in the outfield. Fuentes, Story, McMahon, and Matt Adams at first base. C.J. Cron was a late scratch with lower back tightness. Dom Nunez is behind the plate.
I feel like if I'm a right-handed hitter hitting against Gomber, I am looking dead red from the first pitch, and if it comes out of his hand and it's not straight, I am not swinging until I have to. And you know what? If he can throw a breaking ball that I can't deal with, you tip your hat and you come back the next time.
Where the Mets just stayed away from Goldie. The one time they went in, he hit it off a Big Mac land, and they said, that's enough.
That's enough. Look at the changeup right here.
Had him out in front on the changeup. Hit a mile high. Trevor Story backing up and makes the catch. So the Cardinals go 1-2-3. Matt Adams, old buddy, coming up when we come back.
No score in St. Louis as we move to the second. No surprise, Nolan Arenado facing his former team for the first time since the trade that brought him to St. Louis is just trying to keep it in perspective. He said it's no big deal. We had him on the pregame show. He told me, I played there a long time, so there is more significance, but I'm really just focused on trying to win. He told me the disagreement he had with the former GM had nothing to do with his former teammates or the coaching staff. He said, I still have a lot of love for those guys. And he wanted to make something clear. He said, when I say I love being a Cardinal, it's not a knock on the Rockies. It's a new chapter in my life that I'm really enjoying. And Dan, he closed out his, whoa, that almost, I'm going to get that. That almost hit me. He closed out his Zoom. Arenado closed out his Zoom today with a shout out to Albert Pujols. He said to Albert specifically, I hope you get to go out the right way. You're my favorite player. Dan, that ball almost hit me.
Where's your glove, Jimmy? You got to catch that.
Got to bring a glove to the ballpark, Jimmy.
I have a microphone.
Well, you got another hand.
2 hands.
Did you get the souvenir, Jimmy? Apparently.
One of the other, I think a little guy ended up with the ball.
Good.
You got all that space down there.
How about Nolan Arenado saying that Albert's his favorite player?
I think he's probably the favorite player of a lot of guys in the big leagues still to this day. classy though by Arenado for sure.
1-2 the count here on Matt Adams, who did get a nice ovation, stepped out of the box, tipped his cap to the crowd here at Busch Stadium.
Then he hit a foul ball to Jimmy.
His career average at Busch Stadium, 284, 32 home runs, drove in 120. Caught on with the Rockies late and then was called up. One of the first moves by their new GM. Matt is one of my favorites. He calls St. Louis home in the offseason, works his tail off. You can tell how much he's changed his body from when he first got to St. Louis, and has had a really nice career. And a swing and a miss.
Such a great slider right there. See the difference between the slider that bounces first before it gets there and this one that appears to be a strike for a long time. There's no way to hit that ball right there as a lefty. You only can hope to foul it off.
Here's Josh Fuentes. You know what's interesting is how well the third baseman combined for the Rockies have played so far this year in terms of what they've done at the plate. 254 the average. Arenado 276. Fuentes, who by the way is Arenado's cousin, and Ryan McMahon have split time at third base. 6 home runs. Arenado with 5. 21 runs batted in. Arenado with 22. I would doubt, though, they have played the type of defense that Nolan has given the Cardinals. I would go out on a limb and say that.
You think?
I feel pretty confident about that statement.
Tell you what surprises me the most so far with Arenado's been the passion that he plays with.
Into center. That'll carry right to Bader. I was asked about that today. They said, what's it like seeing him play every day? I said I didn't realize just how intense pitch to pitch he is.
How fiery he is.
Yep.
Even in the open when they showed some of those highlights, and especially after that, some of the Colorado highlights, I didn't realize that, you know, how fiery he was, and it brings a lot of great energy to a clubhouse.
Well, think about the series, Jimmy, that was in Cincinnati, and the bench is clear. He's with a new team, and right in the middle of things, aggressively, Nolan Arenado. That sends a message, doesn't it?
That sure does.
Fastball and a strike to the 8th place hitter Nunez.
Sure, it's something that he didn't do on accident either.
He wanted a part of it, huh?
You know, like I said, he plays with a lot of fire.
Miguel Cabrera has just passed Babe Ruth on the all-time hits list, number 2,874. Another great right-handed hitter of his generation.
One of the best.
The 1-1. Check swing didn't go.
It's a good pitch right there.
So the shift on the right side, 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs and nobody on for the Rockies. The next by Flaherty. The 2-2 inside corner with a fastball at 96. Toyota key to the game, Jimmy. We were talking about it beforehand, whether it's with Flaherty or generally speaking with the Cardinals staff. No free passes. They have issued 133 walks through 32 games. That's 5th most all time. Left field, diving catch. He came up with it. Tyler O'Neill. Great play by O'Neill in left, and Nolan Arenado is coming up. MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Busch Stadium. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Great play by Tyler O'Neill in left field. We saw Justin Williams scaling the wall yesterday with Kevin Pillar. The bases loaded. Fine play here by O'Neill.
That ball just died on him too right there. Little top spin lob. Almost a little face full of dirt.
It's really not dirt though. That's, what would you call that on the track?
Yeah, I don't know what I'd
gravel?
call that. Yeah, sometimes it feels like gravel. It's like the street once in a while. Done a nice
cinders out there.
They've done a nice job at this ballpark to make it a little more comfortable and soft, but there's some other places where they, once you get past the infield, they just kind of throw some boulders out there and wait till they destroy themselves into dirt.
What do you think it's like right now for Nolan Arenado to face the Rockies, a team that he's with for almost 8 decades, had great success?
Tell you what, I would love it. I remember facing the Angels for the first time. I was locked in.
Sixth all-time in hits, 4th in home runs, 4th in runs batted in Rockies history. The 2-1 pitch. Arenado sends it down the right field line. It's well hit, slicing near the corner, and it's down. And a ground rule double for Nolan Arenado.
Well, I think the one good thing about this, well, it could be good or could be bad, right? At least he's not facing one of his best friends today. But then he's facing the guy basically got traded for. So kind of like a hit and miss situation. I think I'd rather face the guy they got traded for other than the guy who was my roommate for 10 years in the minor leagues.
Ooh, Charlie Blackmon, who's played a lot of center field, good outfielder, almost came up with that. Here's Paul DeYoung. He has looked, Jimmy, like a different hitter the last week.
I feel like he's been driving the ball up the middle and the other way. Looks a little bit more comfortable. I think he's been taking a few more pitches, borderline pitches.
Fouled back.
And that all comes to just being, like I say, comfortable, and you're in the box, and you can't always get hits, but if you're comfortable, you start seeing the ball better, start swinging at better pitches, you start taking tougher pitches, get yourself in a better hitting count, hitting situation.
Now the numbers haven't been there in terms of the average. He comes in at 187, but hitting the ball on the button. Pulled just foul. Arenado's 10th double of the season in his 33rd game. 9 doubles in 48 games last year. He's back to driving the ball. Shoulder finally healthy. Oh, 0-2 the count on Paul DeYoung.
I think you see a little different in his mannerisms too. Is always talk about how calm and mild manner Paulie is, but there's a little difference in the way he's walking around now versus how he was earlier. You could see that something may not bothering him. He didn't have that pep in his step that he normally has.
And a swing and a miss. Third strikeout for Austin Gomber.
It's a really good pitch right there. That is kind of no man's land to a righty. Ball's up and in, about the hands.
O'Neill 2 for 10 against the lefties this year as Gomber looks back at his card with a runner at second. First pitch fouled back. Cardinals have dominated the season series with the Rockies over the years. St. Louis 38-13 against Colorado in St. Louis.
I felt like when I was playing, if we could get Holiday and what was the first baseman's name? I just said his name.
Todd Helton.
Todd Helton now. We had no problems, but felt like we could hardly get them out. So you had to get all the guys around them out. But it felt like Holiday and Helton were going to get a hit every time they walked to the plate.
Talked to Larry Walker this morning. Getting ready for his speech as he heads to Cooperstown.
So it'll be an interesting one.
Yep. 0-2 pitch. I can tell you he pulls hard for this young man at the plate. Fellow Canadian. Larry just the second Canadian born player to head to the Hall of Fame, baseball's Hall of Fame. The other Fergie Jenkins. And the 1-2. Said he's written his speech, timed it out. Then he takes out a paragraph, rearranges it.
It's got to be nerve-wracking.
He said they're allowed only 10 people at the Hall of Fame, and maybe even his parents wouldn't be included in that group because of COVID. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 4 for Austin Gomber. Like we said, he's got good stuff, and we saw it time and again while wearing the Cardinal uniform. He's feeling it right now.
Yeah, he is. He's having fun, and that's what it's all about. You know what he's having fun with? That breaking ball. It's breaking today. Well, he's got a little chip on his shoulder too, right?
Absolutely.
Probably bigger.
I would say so.
Big Duracell battery on his shoulder.
Harrison Bader, 5 hits in his first 25 plate appearances, and a couple of home runs, only 4 strikeouts. But you love Harrison against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, I think as long as he stays up the middle, I mean, he gets so comfortable. That just get me over breaking ball right there. Eventually I can see him driving those balls into the gap too, and so lefties are going to have to start thinking about how am I going to get strike 1 to this guy.
A little bit high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bader made his debut against the Rockies back in 2017 and burst on the scene by scoring the game-winning run on a little bloop that was caught down the right field line. Cargo made the catch, and Bader, we got a glimpse of his speed. Wasn't sure if the Cardinals would send him. They did, and he scored the game-winning run. First big league hit was against the Rockies. It was a double. July 25th of 2017. Jed Jerko at the plate. That's pretty shallow for a guy that's got a good arm too. Look at the speed. And a sign of things to come with that speed.
That was a lot of fun to watch. That was almost as fun or just as fun as the Paul DeJong first game as a Cardinal in Colorado.
Made his debut the same year, 2017. Greg Holland got a home run. Basically showed up at the ballpark. They told him grab a bat. It was the middle of the game, late. Grabbed a bat, went up, popped a home run. Thank you very much.
That's the way you do it.
John Brebbia also made, memory serves correct, his major league debut. That's outside. Brebbia signed with the Giants in the offseason. Then the Giants have been probably the biggest surprise right now in baseball. The National League's best record. Not the Dodgers, not the Padres.
I was gonna say,
the Giants.
surprises those Southern California teams for sure.
Arenado, the runner at second base, the 2-2. And Bader lifts a high fly ball out to deep left. Tapia going back at the wall. Gone! Just over the wall. It's a home run for Harrison Bader. Run, Harrison. Take it. They're giving it to you. 2-0 Cardinals.
I think he might have just pulled a Mark McGwire right there. I think he missed first base, watching it to see if it was going out. We were just talking about that breaking ball, and I said pretty soon he's going to start hitting these pitches. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. And I think he forgot something. Surprised Stubby wasn't jumping up and down.
Touch first, Harrison. You are the new home. No, that's another guy. That was Big Mac. Bud Black wants it reviewed. It is a home run, and the Cardinals have a 2-0 lead.
He's going to review if he touched first base twice, maybe.
Now, to your point, this is where I wish they did have the umpires on a microphone to explain to everybody what exactly.
What are we doing right now?
What are we watching? And it's clear they're looking.
That was just
at the home run
where the ball landed. Well,
yep.
I mean, they could have just looked up there on the scoreboard. Sometimes it's pretty obvious. You could just look up at our scoreboard, not have to go all over the place to look for it. But got to get it right, I guess. You got to make it official.
And Stubby Clapp, or in that case, Dave McKay, don't touch the runner. Be out. First base coach. And Kisner, first pitch swinging, popped up, shallow right field, going out Ryan McMahon, and makes the catch. 2-run homer hit by Harrison Bader. 2-0 Cards. Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Just outside Ballpark Village, the big STL, the World Series trophy, and a bunch of changes down here in downtown St. Louis. If you haven't been around in a while, we understand why. Come on down and you'll see a different looking landscape here at downtown St. Louis and right around Busch Stadium.
You are not kidding. I'll tell you what, it has changed and it is beautiful. I still can't get over this building right in front of us with the big TV on top. That thing catches my eye every time it changes colors. I think that something's flying by. Beautiful glass building with it's like a nice bar and pool on top.
Well, the day games, you'll see people go outside their apartment. They got a pretty good seat out there.
No kidding.
Nice ovation for Austin Gomber. Popped up, calling for it. DeYoung, and he makes the catch. Quick word from Cardinal Glennon.
Done. That was easy. Make your pledge for Cardinal Glennon patients just like me at homersforhealth.org. I did.
There's Tapia, hit a soft liner back to Flaherty, his first time up. Arenado even with the bag, off the line at third, shift on the right side, and the first pitch taken for a ball.
Love that pitch right there. Get that pitch over for a strike. Now he could just throw fastballs ahead. Pitch backwards a little bit.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Harrison Bader, we talk about it a lot. He loves hitting left-handed pitching. The Cardinals as a whole do. They're now slugging .471 against left-handed pitching this season, second best in baseball. The league average is .399. Bader with his third home run. That's lifted out to Tyler O'Neill. It was just a week ago that Harrison Bader was called back up and healthy enough to play. Free agent to be Trevor Story. We saw Francisco Lindor come through town, and now a lot of eyes on this shortstop, Trevor Story. What a player he is. Average at .301. First 14 games, slow start by his standards, .245. His last 17, he's been at .356.
Let's go with combination of the cold at the beginning, and then maybe some home games here in the warm weather. But the cold will get you beginning of the year, no matter who and where you are.
Rockies right now 2-11, their road record. They've been outscored 79-44. Good pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jack Flaherty trying to become the major's first 6-game winner. No one else even has more than 4 wins. Jack at 5-0. The 1-1.
That's the 2-seamer right there. He doesn't throw much. I'll tell you what, when we were talking about Jack earlier, there's a few things that he doesn't do great, but there's a lot of things he does really, really well. And that right there, when he starts to introduce that sinker along with that 4-seamer that he can pop on the corners, he's going to just keep getting better and better. I'm telling you. And you can see a glimpse of it over the last couple of years, especially that was it 19 at the second half. But he's starting to slowly put it together with really learning the game, and he's still so young, and he just keeps getting better every time he goes out there. And he's still just 25 years old. The thing I see mostly is a lot of these hitters around the league are basically looking for the fastball, and anytime they see that slider, they're trying to lay off of it, because the slider isn't the pitch that he throws for a strike. It's a strikeout pitch, but only when guys are swinging at it when it's below the zone. A lot of guys will lay off of it until they have to.
3-2 pitch. Just off the plate, and his first walk.
Tell you what, this guy's going to be exciting for a lot of years.
2-out walk to Trevor Story. Now Ryan McMahon singled to left.
Second baseman Ryan McMahon.
McMahon has 8 home runs, tied for 4th in the National League. Trailing only Ronald Acuna Jr. He's got 10. Nick Castellanos and Chris Bryant, 9 apiece.
It's the manager in Atlanta, Snedeker.
Brian Snitker.
Snitker. Been in that league, been in that organization for a long time.
He would be the version of Mike Schilt.
I saw a thing today that they did on one of the baseball channels saying that all the guys that he's been in the organization and watched, and we're talking Chipper to Andrew to all those guys, they're saying Acuna is
the best
above all of those guys, all the way through that organization.
I think it's his combination of both the power and the speed.
This set is just, yeah, it's just unbelievable. And that's saying something right there.
Jimmy, I love working games with you because we get the inside glimpse of what to do defensively. And right now, Harrison Bader could order popcorn better than he could get to a shallow fly ball.
We would make fun of guys and say that they would have to get their uniform cleaned because they have the paint from the wall on their back.
He is as deep as you could play.
They're playing no doubles right now, definitely in the 3rd inning for some reason, but that's the way they're playing it. But yeah, he is deep. I just don't know if this guy is going to hit a ball to center field off of Jack over his head. He might hit some balls in other places, but not to center. And that's the way I would think you would play defense. You got to know.
Well, let me ask you this. If he does hit one to center over Bader's head, where is it?
It's going to be in the grass.
Yeah.
But my point is, like, I'm kind of wanting my pitcher to make a pitch, not to throw a 85-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle to let him blast. So if he does hit one over my head, it's really nothing I can do about it.
The 2-1 pitch.
Yeah, but that's the first time I heard somebody say you need to get your uniform cleaned because you have paint from the wall on your back. I laughed about that one for a while.
And your theory was to play shallow.
Well, I just felt like a lot of the guys, especially when I was coming up, I had older pitchers that wanted me, outfielders, to make the play on the pitch that they made, the good pitch. And that's the pitch that's down and away, or the jam shot fastball inside. And so you have to take in consideration of, okay, if he's throwing a slider on this pitch, if he throws it where he's supposed to, where is this guy at this particular guy going to hit it? And so this particular guy, if he throws it where he's supposed to, is probably going to flip it into left center field. He's not going to pull it or blast it in the air.
Runner goes on the 3-2. Tommy Edman to his right, quickly to first. The stretch by Goldie and the out.
And if he throws it for a strike and down, you're getting a ground ball at second base.
May 21st through the 23rd, Cubs are in town, and you can take home an adult replica embroidered jersey courtesy of Scott Credit Union. Red jersey similar to the one worn by the team in spring training. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Two 2-0 Cardinals on a Bader 2-run blast, and that's fouled back by Flaherty. Flaherty, Edman, Carlson. Home half of the third here in St. Louis. Cardinals come in 4 games above the 500 mark. The Rockies 7 below at 12-19.
I was thinking about what you said about the defense part too, and go back a little further with that while Jack's hitting is, if you see fastball away right there, you're going to expect him to hit at least the outer half. So where is Jack going to hit that ball? That's what you're thinking, right? You're hoping it's down. So next time you get a pitch, you're going to see slider. Well, if Austin throws a slider to Jack, now back to the fastball away, where's he going to hit it? He's going to hit to right field if he makes his pitch. The thing that you have to concentrate on, especially with guys that throw a lot of pitches, is when you're watching the ball come out of the pitcher's hand, if that ball is elevated at all more than you think it's going to be, you got to back up.
Deep left, Jack Flaherty takes it out of here. Flaherty with the home run, and it's 3-0 Cardinals, and boy did he know it. He knew it right off the bat. 3-0 St. Louis.
So I guess the left fielder should be going back. That ball was elevated and he hit it.
They want a curtain call.
Pretty good pitch he hit too.
First career home run for Jack Flaherty. He's 12th among major league pitchers with now 12 hits since the start of 2019. You think he knew it?
Yeah, he did. Look where that
You
pitch
bet.
was. That pitch was in. Almost off the plate.
Two 2-0 the count on Tommy Edman. Edman into right. Charlie Blackmon will go back and make the catch.
Pretty good swing right here. He just pulls his hands inside and hits the barrel and see ya.
.2 miles per hour, 416 feet off the bat of the pitcher Jack Flaherty. Little chopper towards third, gloved by Fuentes. And Adams couldn't pick it. Backing up on the play, Dom Nunez.
Really, you think it went that far? 416?
416.
Woo. Well, it's crushed.
Looked like Fuentes struggled getting the ball out of the glove. And then quickly the transition.
Just maybe a little unnecessary right there, I would think. Just set your feet and throw.
Backing up on the play.
Been watching maybe 28 too much.
Yeah. Here's Goldschmidt with a runner on and one out and a fastball and a strike. Got him on a changeup to pop out to short first time up. The numbers the last 2 years have been a lot better in terms of average. Home runs the first year, by this time 9. But his hard hit percentage is about 20 points higher this year compared to the other two. Talking about Paul Goldschmidt. 1-2 the count. Baseball is a funny game, man. You can hit the ball hard. He's doing it more than half the time, but yet the start of play, his average was at 240.
Make you stay up at night every now and then thinking, what do I have to do?
The 1-2 pitch, ripped foul. Here's a slugger that has averaged 31 home runs and 100 RBIs in 7 seasons prior to last year. You just get the feeling it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
And his track record has been is when the summer months kick in, starts getting hot, so does he. Outside, 2-2. Last Cardinals pitcher to hit a home run was Tyson Ross off of Clayton Kershaw back in 2018.
Good swing right there.
Two and two the count, 1 out, runner at first. 3-0 Cardinals. Home half of the third. See if the Cardinals want to start Dylan Carlson here.
Why not? A good jump. Got to think that he's going to put the ball in play.
Not running, and that is pulled foul. Nunez is 0 for 11 throwing out base stealers this season. 1 for 20 in his career.
So you're saying you want him to run?
3-2, and he struck him out. It's 5 strikeouts for Gomber. Arenado with a ground rule double down the right field line. First time up, and scored on the 2-run homer hit by Harrison Bader. And strike 1. The 0-1. Nothing in 2 with 2 outs and a runner at first.
I might run here just to see if you can't sneak a base, or maybe Arenado's not seeing the ball very well. Give him a chance the next inning. Start over again. Or both. Never know what's going to happen when you put some people in motion.
And a strikeout of Arenado. 2 in the inning, 6 in the game. Jack Flaherty connects with his first career home run. 3-0 St. Louis. Three 3-0 Cardinals, and a nice night for baseball fans enjoying it. Pair of home runs hit by St. Louis. Harrison Bader, 2-run homer. Jack Flaherty with his first home run in the big leagues.
Saw that stat that went by on the bottom line. Went around the wrong time, but it was about Charlie Blackmon's got the most hits in the big leagues since 2015, I believe.
Yep. Ground ball that's hit to short. 1 away.
That's what we were talking about the last time he was up.
Well, the Cardinals certainly give Jack Flaherty run support. They now, in his games, including tonight, have outscored the opposition 64-21. He's got 64 runs of support. It's about an average of 8 per game.
That'll help.
Yep. Struggled on opening day, 6 runs in 4 1/3. And since that time, an ERA barely over 2. Garrett Hampson. Arenado coming in, anticipating the bunt. And he did go.
That was interesting. I thought he pulled it back right there, didn't you?
Close.
Not quick enough.
Arenado now backing up at third. Hampson with 7 stolen bases, so you know he's got good speed, and now it's 2 strikes. 0-2. The 0-2 kept in front. Hampson's the only player right now in the major leagues with at least 7 steals and 22 or more runs scored. fouled back. He came up in the first and a key play in this game. Runners at first and second, 2 outs, hits a ball in the hole, knocked down by DeYoung. Charlie Blackmon, the runner at first, goes to second, rounds the bag, and DeYoung threw it to Tommy Edman. And there was nowhere for him to go, and they applied the tag, and the inning was over. Flaherty off the hook. The 1-2 pitch. 2-2. Swing and a miss, and it's strikeout number 3 tonight for Jack Flaherty.
That slider again. I'm telling you, these guys do a nice job of laying off his slider when he throws it down. But when he can get it right around that bottom of that zone, it doesn't have to be a strike. It just can't hit the dirt too early. This is just a tough pitch to lay off.
There's Matt Adams. Mentioned it earlier. Calls St. Louis home. Fell in love with the town. Drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals. Lives here year-round. He's gotten involved with the Boys and Girls Club here in St. Louis. Raised a bunch of money for him. And now you can call him a world champion. He was a member of the world champion Washington Nationals. Had some memorable postseason at bats for the Cardinals. The 1-1. Ground ball slowly hit to the right side. Coming on, Tommy Edman makes the play. 1-2-3 go the Colorado Rockies. DeYoung, O'Neill, Bader coming up 3-0. Download the McDonald's app to grab a $1 any size frozen beverage every game day at McDonald's. 3-0 our score. Harrison Bader with a 2-run homer in the second. Solo home run hit by Flaherty in the third. Paul DeYoung struck out his first time up. Gomber has struck out 6. That's that pitch that has gotten him at times, that elevated fastball.
Well, and Gomber has a really nice one too because he's so tall. It's basically coming straight out of his hand and it's just staying on that same plane.
On a hop to short, Trevor Story with it. Theme nights are back, and we have one coming up featuring Kenny Reitz May 19th. Purchase a special Budweiser Bash themed ticket. Receive a Ken Reitz bobblehead. Cardinals.com/BudBash. O'Neill struck out back in the second. And that's ball 1. 1 out, nobody on. Cardinals and Rockies, couple of day games after tonight. Carlos Martinez against Gonzalez tomorrow. Wainwright Marquez on Sunday. Off speed pitch. Had him way out in front.
Well, that is not a ball that you can pull or try to pull. That is a ball you have to stay on and try to drive it the other way.
And a strikeout of O'Neill. 7 tonight for Gomber. StatCast powered by Google Cloud. Breaking ball, and Bader took it out to left and just over the wall. 2 outs and nobody on.
Looks a little bit more calm at the plate this year. You can see less tension and just everything. It's just, he's always been very confident, but the slow, like, it's kind of slowed down. You know, he's not kind of jerking all over the place and really cranking his hips, and will help you, definitely help you stop swinging a lot of sliders down, breaking balls down. See what he can do with the changeup. See the difference right there in just taking pitches.
That's when I tell if a guy is seeing the ball or locked in, is how they take a pitch.
Especially the less of a flinch right there, especially on a good pitch. I mean, that's a guy's throwing hard, throwing the ball up in the zone, and he throws you a changeup down, and you don't even flinch.
Times he can get out in front, a little jumpy.
I like that also too, is right there, that foul ball the other way. That means he's concentrating on trying to stay inside the pitch as much as he can.
Three and two with 2 outs and nobody on.
Little Bruce Bolt batting gloves right there.
Excuse me?
Some batting gloves by Bruce Bolt right there.
Is that right?
It's a young man who started his own company, and he is blowing up rather quickly.
I like it.
Guys are loving him.
3-2 pitch, and Bader hits a fly ball to Charlie Blackmon in right, and the Cardinals go in order. We move to the 5th. 3-0.
Three to nothing Cardinals as we move to the 5th in St. Louis. Despite Jack treating Austin Gomber rudely with his home run in the 3rd inning, the two are actually really good friends. In fact, Gomber says Jack helped him get to the big leagues. Gomber told me, we came up through the minors together. He's seen me throw more than anyone else. He knows what I look like when I'm right and when I'm off. He's the first guy to pick up something when I'm off. And Dan, Austin says he has the ultimate respect for Jack. He told me, whether it's on social media or in an interview, that's the real Jack. What you see is what you get.
And right now, Jack with a 3-run lead. Josh Fuentes played at Missouri Baptist here in St. Louis. As we mentioned, the cousin of Nolan Arenado. Talked about that earlier. And now replacing him at times at third base. We've seen players out of MoBap, Lindenwood University that have made it to the big leagues. So not the powerhouse SEC schools. Sometimes you got to go to the lower schools to find them, but they can still play, man.
As long as you can play.
So the cousins here, Fuentes and Arenado, playing in the same big league game, and one guy had to replace the other. The 2-2
pitch. Wow.
Big happy birthday to a Cardinal fan celebrating here at the ballpark. Larry Bowman. Larry Bowman is here and enjoying Cardinals baseball with his family. Daughter Lauren Verhoff and their crew. That's lifted in the air to right center. How about when Bader goes back, Jimmy, in a ball like that?
I was hoping you weren't going to ask me that.
Okay,
I knew
so
you were too.
I've been wanting to ask you about this.
We talked about this last year.
Not enough, apparently.
I hate it. But he's so athletic.
So are you afraid he's going to trip up when he goes back?
One day he will.
Yeah.
And I'm going to laugh at him.
So he's always backtracking
I'm going to
like
text
that?
and I'm going to call him. No, I mean, that's just his style. He does it. He does a nice job of it. My philosophy in that would be the less steps, the better, in case something does go wrong. But he's so athletic and so smooth. And every time he does it, I watch. And right there, he did it probably earlier than I've ever seen him do it.
He did that very early.
He was gliding so easily. I'm just like, I hope Danny doesn't say anything right now, because clearly that was a very obvious one.
It's almost like a defensive back going back with a wide receiver. You know what I mean?
Yep. He does it, though. That's his game, and that's would never change him. Just don't really.
You always
love
say,
it.
hey, be comfortable.
Yeah.
Be comfortable.
Well, and they used to tell me when I was in the minor leagues that I needed to turn around and catch the ball like that a little bit more. And I thought, well, why would I want to spin around or try to change the angle when I'm running so hard to get to a ball? I would kind of just would rather slow, because the biggest problem for a lot of guys running, and definitely not Harrison, is when you're running after the ball and you're not running smoothly, the ball is bouncing on you. So a lot of times you have to kind of slow down just a little bit to get the ball to stop bouncing, so you can catch it and catch it easily. And that's kind of why I was saying with Harrison, when he turns around like that, the less steps the better. But that's maybe that's his way of gliding, you know, and getting, and you almost run on your heels a little bit to slow yourself down. And that's just his way of doing it. I was kidding when I said I hate it, but I wouldn't like to see anyone teach that way, because I don't think there's too many athletes out there like Harrison Bader. What do you think about that?
I like it.
But I know it raises a question, so you're kind of like,
no, I'm digesting it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's not normal for a player to do that, but like I said, there's a lot of guys out there that don't have that kind of athletic ability.
That's why I'd be fine with it. He is as athletic as you're going to find out there. Cardinals virtual 5K coming up, celebrates Lou Brock. Proceeds benefit Girls on the Run St. Louis and Cardinals Care, the Redbird Rookies program. Register at cardinals.com/5K. So 2 outs, and here is Gomber.
Can't wait for tomorrow's headlines that talks about how you and I hate the way Harrison Bader plays center field.
And we're actually saying we love it.
Well, you know, someone listened to the first 10 seconds, but didn't listen to the last 10 seconds. Could spin it completely out of control, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I would only probably say that about him.
I am curious how many guys come to you and talk defense with you, because everybody talks offense. They all want offense, and I understand that. That's why you get paid. But you're an 8-time Gold Glover. I'd go to you and say, hey, what are you thinking? Do I play too deep? What do you think? How I go back on a ball? Those kind of things.
You know, what's interesting is a couple times when I was on the field in the last couple years, coaches have come up to me and said, hey, so and so wants to say hello and ask you a question, or a guy has just stopped me and said, what do you think about this? And I love it. I just think it's interesting, because that's exactly how I felt when I was playing. If someone would have said, I mean, guys I grew up watching with Freddie Lynn and guys just in Anaheim, Freddie Lynn, Gary Pettis, Devon White, if I could have sat down with them for 5 minutes, man, it would have been awesome, because they all three played differently and they all three were incredible.
Different ways to skin a cat, so to speak.
But just so much fun to watch, and just I love, like, I had a coach, Bobby Knopp, was our first base coach in Anaheim, and
he's awesome.
And he was one of those guys that made the game so simple, because he said, like what you said, well, if you're going to play that deep, what do you have to worry about going back for? Because if he hits it, it's a homer. So don't play that deep, or don't play Ken Griffey Jr. into right center field, because if he hits it in the air to right center field, chances are it's going to be a homer. So it kind of simplified the game, and I think that's where that whole thing came from, is go catch the ball that's been thrown correctly and not smashed, because you're doing the pitcher a favor. Don't worry about the fastball down the middle getting hit 400 feet and trying to jump over the wall and catching it. So I don't know. I think that's kind of where I got some of that from. I think he was a big time defensive guru. He was, I believe, second baseman in the big leagues for a long time, and just knew how to play the game the right way.
Strikeout number 4 for Flaherty. Midway through 5, and the Cardinals on top on a beautiful night here at Busch. It's Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest, brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. And by Steel. Find your Steel dealer at steeldealers.com. Glad you're with us on this Friday night here in St. Louis. Great shot there as Adam Wainwright is talking with Yadier Molina, and Yadi was in full gear before the game doing some baseball related activities, so his return is imminent. Not sure exactly when that may be, but it's close. Kisner, Flaherty, and Edman. Austin Gomber has struck out 7. He's allowed 3 hits, 2 home runs.
Well, he's done a nice job tonight. It was what we talked about at the beginning of the game with him. No walks. He's kept his team in this game even though it's 3-0.
And a little flare and a base hit right over Matt Adams. And Kisner needed that. He's 1 for 2. Back in the 3rd inning, the BJC Healthcare difference maker.
I mean, did you see where that ball is on the plate?
It's a good pitch.
It is in off the plate.
It snapped an 0 for 20 for Andrew Kisner. And now Jack Flaherty.
Andrew's swinging the bat so good too early on, and then start playing every day.
Yep.
Guys start reading the scouting report. You start getting a little tired. Start getting mentally tired running that game. And I'll tell you what, that's what makes Yadi so special. If you think about just watching Andrew play right now, mentally to be in the game.
Oh, what a play here by the catcher Dom Nunez on the pop-up. And back to the bag at first goes Kisner.
I think Schulte's going to get a question about this after the game.
Home run hitter
Guy
bunting.
just hit a home run, and now you're asking him to bunt. Bad thing is he's a great bunter.
He is.
Now he
Might be the best
bunt.
on the team.
But like back to Andrew Kisner is what I'm saying is like the mental grind is as tough as the physical grind, and that's what makes Yadi even more amazing, is because he's able to do both all the time. Sometimes it gets a little easier when you're used to it, but when you first start going through it, it's just like going through a playoff run. When you concentrate that much, that hard each and every night, it starts to take a toll on you.
There's Tommy Edman, 0 for 2, struck out looking and lined out to right. Room on the right side. Edman, base hit, just snuck through.
God, I love this kid. I'll tell you what, I would take him on my team any day.
And play him anywhere.
Yep. But I'll tell you what, I'd lead him off and I'd play him at second base, and I would have a good beginning of the day every day, because this guy will give you a tough at bat and he plays great defense.
You know what he is? He's old school. Doesn't strike out a lot, puts the ball in play. Good
Both sides of the
two-strike.
plate.
Good two-strike approach. Can play anywhere.
Sneaky a few homers.
Yep. Steal you a bag. Stolen bases aren't really a part of the game anymore.
Tell you what, I think he could probably steal more bases if he ran more, if they ran more, because he is one of the faster guys in the league. I think he gets that kind of credit yet.
Carlson reached on an error by Fuentes and struck out swinging, 0 for 2. Dillon is sitting on 3 home runs.
Just looking for Tommy too. 2019, he had 11 home runs, so he's definitely capable of that 15 mark for sure.
Big gap in left center. And the 1-1 pitch. Hit up the middle. Base hit. Kisner will score. 4-0 Cardinals.
Nice piece of hitting right there. That is a slider that's coming towards him, and he just stays inside of it and drives it back up the middle. Then try to pull it, then try to lift it. Just try to hit it square.
Runners at the corners, and the heart of this lineup coming up. Only one down. Paul Goldschmidt and then Nolan Arenado.
Give a shout out to Sloan Golden watching in California. Danny, huge Cardinals fan living in Newport Beach, California, with their daddy Josh.
I think I've met Josh before.
You might have. He's been to a few games.
Big Cardinal fan.
Big Cardinal fan.
Yeah.
I think he's been to a few games. Not as many as the Passmores, but he's been to a few.
Passmores have been traveling around the country now that some of the restrictions have been lifted with COVID.
Actually, last year we got the email about Josh. Remember when he was turning 72?
That's right.
It was Josh's birthday last year that someone gave us a shout out.
Awesome. Glad he's watching. And that's a strike to Goldschmidt. Jordan Sheffield, right-hander, throwing in the pen. 7 right-handers, 2 lefties in the bullpen. I think the Rockies are covered with 9 out there.
Going to say this is exactly why I keep all those notes, so I can remember the people that you say happy birthday to, people that visit the ballpark.
You were digging through your notes and found it.
Well, now I got iPad and the computer, and I got a little pen you can write with on the iPad.
You're dangerous is what you're saying.
I guess that would be the word you would use. Oh man, dangerous to myself.
First pitch is strike to Paul Goldschmidt. Runners at the corners, 1 out, 4-0 our score. And another check on Dylan Carlson. Boo, they say here at Busch Stadium. You gotta wonder when a guy is throwing over that much if that's just time to let the right-hander get loose.
Well, I had to look up there, see a 0-1 count. We saw a guy get taken out in the middle of a count earlier this year.
It's a ball and a strike. Miami in the bottom of the 8th, leading Milwaukee 7-1. Brewers in a little bit of a rut right now. And that's hit left side. Fuentes from his backside. No chance to get Goldschmidt. Throw is wide and the run will score.
Tell you what, he must have been watching somebody at third base, but this is one heck of a play.
It's Arenado Esch.
Oh. I don't even know how you make that play, still sliding like that.
And a perfect throw too.
I thought you meant the one over to first.
Not quite.
Whoops.
There's Nolan Arenado, who is 1 for 2 with a double. Oh, right on that pitch and fouled back.
Thought we were going to get that one.
No. Kia player profile. Closer look at the Cardinal third baseman as well as Charlie Blackmon since 2015, the most hits in baseball.
There it is. Look at the 3 of those guys on that list for Colorado, basically.
Chopped right side to Matt Adams. He'll step on the bag. Cardinals strand a runner. They're second. They pick up 2 more, and they enjoy a 5-run lead. Back at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and the T-Mobile coverage cam here at Busch Stadium. Tapia, Story, and McMahon. 6th inning, 5-0 Cardinals. Flaherty is 15-0 when he receives 5 or more runs of support. That run support has continued tonight. He's allowed no runs, 3 hits. And the 0-1. Slapped foul and out of play. Well, the Cardinals can develop players. There's no questioning that. You have a former minor league pitcher of the year in the organization on both sides in the Cardinal system. Gomber was 1 year. Jack Flaherty. That's pulled foul. Alex Reyes was. The job that Gary LaRocque does, and they haven't had a ton of turnover in the minor league system, is a big reason why. They're so good. Jose Oquendo working with players. Considered one of the best.
It had to hurt big time last year not having a system to work with, or I mean, not even just for all the way around. You know, the players, the coaches, the staff, like just not having a season down there cost some young kids a chance to play.
Think about taking a whole year off and trying to come back and play pro ball. It's incredibly tough to do, obviously. Pretty well hit into the gap in left center. And there is Tyler O'Neill and the first out. Spoke with Michael Gersh, the general manager of the club, and he said Liberatore, all signs were really good. Matthew Liberatore made his debut, had not pitched above A ball, so he made a start last night at Double-A. He said, man, it is great to finally come to the office and have a stack of reports on the minor league players again, just to see what's going on.
It's been a while. Snuck in the general manager's office right before, or booth right before the game, and they were watching one of the minor league teams on the iPad. So just like you said, not only the stack of paperwork, but then they get to see firsthand, even when you're here watching the minor league teams play. Always somebody watching when you're down there.
There's Trevor Story, was called out on strikes and walked. I feel obligated to ask you this, Jimmy, because I know a lot of people are curious your thoughts, but Albert Pujols DFA'd. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with number 5.
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin with that. Shocked a little bit. I know that they're trying to get a couple of guys more playing time, but seems like a rough way to go right there. And I think you know, Nolan Arenado said it best, right? Hope you get a chance to go out the way you deserve to go out. And you know, I mean, he's had an amazing career. If he quits today, he's still first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best players to ever play this game. And I mean, what can you say? I mean, this guy hitting 300, 400 in spring training, and guys went into the manager's office and said, you cannot leave this guy off the roster. And then all of a sudden you have this. From that to this.
It was 10 years to the day when he hit his first home run, and then for the Angels, and then was released. 10 years to the day. So he will clear waivers and then figure out his next destination. Three and 2. One out. Trevor Story at the plate. Comes back to get him. 5 strikeouts tonight for Jack Flaherty.
This is a great pitch right here from Jack Flaherty. Kind of talking about earlier about how he doesn't put guys away really quick. It's got kind of a strike ratio of 50% once he gets ahead, but right there, here you go, hit it. Get a fastball inside, middle in, and guys can't touch that right there. 95, good firm fastball in the middle half.
He's had 94 pitches. Here's Ryan McMahon, ground ball, backhanded by Goldschmidt. Flaherty to the bag. Look at our Budweiser What's on Tap. Carlos Martinez coming off 8 scoreless innings Sunday against Pittsburgh. 5 hits. Career win number 60 for Carlos. His scoreless inning streak right now 11 1/3, and he'll go tomorrow for St. Louis in our Budweiser What's on Tap. Jordan Sheffield is into the ball game. It's our Chevy call to the pen. A 2020 Rule 5 selection from the Dodgers.
Last time you saw Carlos Martinez locked in like that and that emotional all the way into what, 7th?
And remember, he hit the catcher on the face. Thank goodness that Stallings was okay. It just glanced like the lip.
Yep.
And you know, he could have become unglued after that and didn't. In the previous start, there was a drop in right field by Justin Williams and then a runner at second. He threw it into center. Did not come unglued. So those are signs.
I think that last game that we saw him pitch was as good as he's been in a long time. Maybe not all numbers wise, but just composure, velocity, stuff. I just like it when he goes out there and does what he did because he's so electric and so talented. It's just fun to watch when he puts it all together.
And DeYoung pops it up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Austin Gomber tied his career high with 7 strikeouts, 5 innings, 5 runs, 6 hits, the 7 Ks, no walks, gave up 2 home runs.
He pitched a pretty good game. I mean, a really nice job of not allowing any walks, some strikeouts, scattered some hits with that couple home runs.
That's off of Sheffield into the shift and the out. Join us for a midweek series. Busch Stadium, May 18th and 19th. Cardinals take on the Pirates. 10,000 fans entering with a ticket receive a Cardinals visor. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Tyler O'Neill 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. One out and nobody on. Tapped out in front of the plate. Nunez on it, makes the play. Harrison Bader 1 for 2 with a 2-run homer. What are you laughing at?
I was just thinking about spin rate. Breaking balls with. Sometimes I can't believe this spin rate thing when I see it on the computer. It just kind of throws me off.
Sometimes, Jimmy, it's the little things that you can appreciate in life. Spin rate.
Well, I know you're not going to believe this and all, but Tyler's exit velocity was 59 miles an hour and was not a home run in any ballpark in America.
I'm surprised it was 59 miles an hour.
But he did run.
He was running about 59 miles an hour.
30.3 feet per second.
Flies down the line.
Gosh.
He can flat out run, man.
Oh my
Cardinals have some guys that can run, and that's why I think when you were talking earlier about maybe being more aggressive on the bases, Tommy Edman.
You got three.
Carlson.
Bader. Three of the top.
O'Neill. Yeah, three of the top 15.
You say that last year the three of the top 10 at a given point, but I'm going to have to say they have three of the top 20, at least 20, if not a closer margin of speed in this league. And yeah, it's just, well, and also it's a lot of fun to watch them run because I wish I could have run half that speed, but I just think it's just such a, what would you call it, a lost weapon, a lost art of this game. You don't really see these guys, not these guys, but the first to third as much. You don't see like bang bang, you know, running around, guy following him from home to second, first to third, home to second.
Well, here's a question. If you're Mike Schilt and the numbers now are as prevalent as ever with your times of pitchers and catchers, pop-up times, releases, all that, the velocity is higher than it's ever been, so it's tougher to run. And then simply, do you want to run with Goldschmidt and Arenado coming up when they could lose it? You know, you could get a combined 60, 65 home runs from those guys this year.
It's the Mark McGwire effect.
That's right.
Tony would always say, don't run. It could cost yourself, you know, cost us 2 runs.
That's fouled back just below us.
I was just fine with that, too. No need to run. But you're right with those 2 guys, but there's a time and a place for it.
You bet.
And I think also when you think about what you just said too, you find out which one of those 2 guys, if not both, don't mind it once in a while. Talk to them about, hey, you might be struggling a little bit. You mind if we try this? Hey, I might turn somebody loose against a guy that you don't swing well against. You look at all of these numbers we have now, and there's so many different ways to approach.
The fly ball lifted to right. Charlie Blackmon makes the catch.
So many different ways to approach each game each day.
7th inning coming up. It's 5-0.
Cards up 5-0. We told you yesterday that Yadi was cleared for some baseball activities today. Yadi took BP. Mike Schilt says it's highly probable that Yadi will be with the team when they leave for their next road trip starting on Tuesday. Schilt says they want to see how Yadi recovers from doing the baseball related stuff, but he says we will see him sooner than later. Watching Yadi today, Dan, seems like real soon.
Yeah, no doubt. We were watching him. We both were here early at the ballpark. He was getting in that catcher's position. And there is a strike to Charlie Blackmon. So some defensive work in the cage. And Mike also indicated so no rehab assignment even with the minor leagues up and running. Get him back out there as soon as possible if they can. So 96 pitches, 97 now for Jack Flaherty as we play here in the 7th inning.
I was kind of shocked when you said that last inning. I didn't think he'd be that high. I wasn't really watching pitch count today as much as I've been watching really more location, and shocked me he was that high already.
And a fly ball out to right field. Rookie Dylan Carlson. And while we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Lots of new little firsts to keep up with means less time for banking. Good thing you can check your balance with a text and get back to all of life's little firsts with Great Southern Text Banking.
Garrett Hampson, a single and also a strikeout, 1 for 2. No activity in the Cardinal pen, no activity for the Rockies. By the way, our good buddy Jim Hayes.
Yes.
We love the cat. That's a given. This is year number 20 for Jim on our Cardinal telecast. Congratulations, Jimmy.
He's only got, what, 20 more to catch up with you? Or 30 more?
He's within striking distance.
Oh, congratulations,
That's
Jimbo.
awesome, Jim. Congratulations. Does such a great job for us. And much appreciated.
It's been a little docile this year, though, a little bit. We got to get him. Got to get something going with in the people.
Oh, he will.
Got to get after a home run or a, you know, those are the best days.
I think when things open up a little bit more, that's right down his alley.
Hopefully they are coming soon.
You bet. More fans in the ballpark. Hopefully that's coming soon.
That is definitely needed.
Congratulations, Jim Hayes, 20 years with the Cardinals. 1-2 pitch, and he struck him out. 6 strikeouts for Jack Flaherty.
This is it again right here, Danny. This is that pitch, right? Gets ahead a lot, throws a lot of sliders, but when you start throwing this ball late in the count, it's going to start freezing a lot of hitters.
Look at that movement.
Not only does he have the 2-seamer like that, the 4-seamer also. So sometimes it's going to sink and run in, and sometimes it's not.
Well hit opposite way. Tyler O'Neill, though, with room, makes the catch. Jack Flaherty threw 7. Let's stretch on a Friday night here at the ballpark. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cardinals and not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Jack Flaherty from a curtain call to the dugout talking to Mike Maddox. His night is through, more than likely. And Flaherty with 7 scoreless innings and mixed in a solo home run.
Oh, yeah. Just mixed in a homer. Could have been winning this game all by himself.
We were talking just between the break, and you were mentioning this kid's got a chance to be special, and you're right.
Little Bob Gibson-esque. Hit a homer and win 1-0.
Bob had 24 of those long balls. That was in regular season, by the way.
Didn't take you that long to look that up, huh?
That one's off the top of the.
Right off the top.
24 in regular season play. He had 2 World Series home runs. Bob Gibson.
That's impressive.
Awesome. Here's Andrew Kisner. Snapped an 0 for 20.
Speaking of home runs, it's about the time for the Honda home run inning.
Jimmy, you led me right into it. Man, you are catching on fast. That took Al 15 years to lead me to that. Gateway Honda home run inning. Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. And that's no shot at Al. It's just Al was locked in on the game, and I'd be trying to get in the copy, and you know, and then by the 7th inning,
I'm just trying to help.
Year 15, he said, "Okay, now you can read." I said, "Thank you, Mr. Rabowski," and that's how we did it.
Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Rabowski.
I said, "Al, whatever you want, whatever you say, that's what we're going to do." And I guarantee I'm going to have a message very shortly from Al. And I'm going to be very careful when I walk out to my car.
I was going to say, you better heads up. I mean, it is getting late, so you might be lucky.
2-2 the count on Andrew Kisner. And that is hit out of play.
They didn't call him the Mad Hungarian for nothing.
Wasn't the Happy Hungarian.
Tell you what, he was instrumental for me when I first got here. Him and his wife June, they took such good care of me, and still to this day.
The 2-2 out of play again. Just a little late on that fastball. So Carpenter on deck. He would pinch hit for Jack Flaherty, and then we'll see Tommy Edman.
I'd like to see the late on the fastball, especially for Andrew, who doesn't get to play a whole lot. Stay inside the ball still. Don't try to do too much. He's doing his job on the defensive side, and that's where you want it tonight, especially in this game right now when it's 5-0. Just have a good at bat. Try to hit the ball hard somewhere.
And the strikeout, maybe looking for something else. First strikeout for Sheffield. 4 up and 4 down out of their pen. Want to be a part-time worker at Busch Stadium Sports Service, the official concessionaire of Busch Stadium, hosting a hiring event. That's this Thursday, May 13th. Open interviews take place at Gate 3 from 2 to 6. Free parking, complimentary ballpark food will be provided for all applicants. For more information, visit cardinals.com/jobs. Here's Carpenter. Shift on the right side. Drop down a bunt against the Mets. That was against the shift.
Got to do it. When you're not having any luck, and I mean not having any luck, hit the ball hard, gets caught, gets run down, bloop single, guy dives and makes a play. Sometimes you just got to take your bunts and your hits when you can.
Carpenter has 2 hits as a pinch hitter. They've all been home runs. Lifted in the air, out to left. Tapia the catch. So 2 outs and Tommy Edman. Struck out looking, lined out to right, and a base hit to left, and a run scored. Ryan Helsley throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. Two and one. Cardinals have out hit the Rockies 6-3 and a 2-1 pitch. And let's see what Tommy can do here on 3-1. They shift on the right side. And here it comes. Taken high. And he's on base for the second time. quick word from the Home Depot.
Join the Home Depot Pro Extra program that saves you time and gets you rewarded. Keeping score has never been easier.
First walk by Sheffield. When Tommy Edman scores a run, by the way, the Cardinals 15-0. He has scored a run tonight. Cardinals have a lead of 5-0. Leaning towards second. The pitch to Carlson. He's running. Base hit into right. Edman racing to third. And held up there as Carlson will get back to the bag at first. And now runners at the corners.
I'll tell you what. That is exactly what we were talking about. I think Mike was listening in his ear. You know, they always know everything. But just for the perfect example of this right here. Okay, Tommy Edman's running right here. Watch this. Okay, so he sees the ball and he's still running hard. This ball gets in the corner. If this ball is another 10 feet over, he's still running hard. He starts to slow down. He's holding him up.
Jimmy, if it's bobbled,
I'm telling you right now, he could have scored on that play.
I was thinking that they may send him. Now, if it's bobbled at all in a transition, whatever, he scores with his hustle.
Exactly, and that was another reason why we talk about the speed. And I believe that if he runs hard like he was running all the way around, that's a bang-bang play at home. That's how simple it is to score a run with speed.
And now Paul Goldschmidt. 2 outs, 2 on.
If you want to see what it's like to score runs with speed, just turn on the Padres once in a while and watch Tatis Jr. play. I just can't believe I still say this on the air, but scored twice in spring training on sacrifice flies to the infield in spring training this year. Twice. By just effort and speed.
High fly ball into right, and the catch made. Cardinals strand a pair. They've left 4 on. Now it's up to the bullpen. St. Louis on top, 5-0. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by BJC Healthcare, the world's best medicine made better. And by Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Lou Brock statue outside the ballpark here at Busch Stadium. 5-7-0 for the Cardinals, 0-3-1 for the Rockies. And the new pitcher, Ryan Helsley, our Chevy called to the pen. So with the injury to Jordan Hicks, you get the feeling that Helsley moves up with even more importance, and he's gotten better and better as this season has gone along.
Well, and he kind of started off in the past pitching early in the games, worked his way back and got himself late in a couple of games, but he's very capable of doing that. I mean, you don't get to be on this roster if you can't pitch in any inning of any game. So experience will play a little bit, but he's been around now long enough. It just has to go out there and trust his stuff.
And that is hit the other way by Fuentes. Opposition, right-handed batters hitting .231. No extra base hits this season against Ryan Helsley. And the 0-1. Fuentes tonight is lined out to center, fly to center, 0 for 2. Jack Flaherty went 7 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. High chopper, one cousin to another. And again, if people are wondering what we're talking about, Arenado and Fuentes are cousins, and Fuentes has been basically the primary third baseman along with McMahon at third base after the departure of Nolan Arenado.
What the release right there. Just I don't know. I mean, I'll exaggerate a little bit, but has he ever thrown the ball anywhere other than Goldie's chest?
Had a throwing error yesterday. First time. First time.
So, you know what? I think yesterday might have been the first time I didn't watch a game in a while. I was home with the kiddos.
And you missed our telecast?
I missed it. I mean, I got 2 little boys that want to go, go, go.
It's perfect for nap time.
Oof.
Especially when Thompson's on the game.
Yeah, he's. Although I did get a nice message from a fan that said he's been doing a really nice job.
Brad has been sensational. Matter of fact, he's so good, he's going to be on the post game. How come you haven't been doing those post games?
Breaking it down. Oh, they don't want to hear me talk about me.
Well, we'll get you on some post games, Jimmy. We'll take care of that. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Dom Nunez. Arenado, long way to go. O'Neill as well, and a foul ball. Had the shift on there. And a souvenir thanks to Nolan.
And you still probably thought he was going to catch that somehow. How many times your eyes shift up and down to see how close he can get to it?
Wade Miley is a no-hitter going against Cleveland through 7 on 95 pitches. He struck out 7. They'll be talking about that on the post game. Brad, by the way, has invited you over if you'd like to come on over and take part in the post game show.
You know, we were on the road not too long ago, and I tried to lend my services because we were a little short-handed, and Brad told me not bother. He'd take care of it.
Is that right?
Yeah. And he also said just let Hank, leave Hank hanging. He'll be all right by himself.
That pitch hit triple digits, second time tonight by Ryan Helsley. 2-1 the count. Shift on the right side. Good pitch. 2-2. I have heard Brad talk a lot about secondary pitches for Ryan Helsley. And if he can do that, he's going to have a long career. That is a nasty pitch there when you're hitting triple digits as well. That's filthy.
It's just a tighter slider right there he's developed. And I mean, Brad used to throw one like that. It was nasty, just like it. I mean, but
taken there by Goldie.
Might have been about 20 miles an hour slower, but it was still nasty.
Yeah. 2 outs. He's not your average Joe. It's Connor Joe.
It's another weapon for you right there. So you're going to hit. You know he throws 100. You just saw the nasty slider to the lefty, and so as a righty you think, okay, I don't have to worry about that as much. And then he throws a curveball that starts over your head and lands at the bottom of the strike zone for a strike first pitch. Thank you so much.
Ooh, Helsley thought he had strike 3 on Joe. 2-2 the count with 2 outs and nobody on. And from 0-2 to 3-2. And the 3-2 pitch to Joe. Arenado backhands it. Wow.
Come on.
They're used to seeing that. The Rockies saw it for 8 years. Cardinal fans enjoying this. 5-0. On the cover of Cardinals magazine, it's Nolan Arenado. Make sure you get your magazine and a cover story on Nolan. Cardinals.com/magazine. Get to know Nato on the cover. Moments ago, what a play, huh?
I mean, come on. Really?
Then he gave Joe a little peek. Watch this. Oops.
I don't.
Ridiculous.
It's like, that's just the thing about that is you can't teach that. How do you do that? Well, you just catch the ball. Just catch it any way you can. But most guys don't. Most guys will lay that or get out of the way, or he just kind of gets his body in just perfect position where he can get the hop a little bit longer.
Or guys just, if they want or try to get in front of it just to knock it down.
I
mean,
can't
that's
imagine
a bullet.
what that would feel like off the chest.
Lucas Gilbreth. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the 1-2 pitch now to Nolan Arenado. Arenado lines it. And a base hit into right. 2 for 4 tonight. He has been going the other way more and more here in the last week.
Well, guys are pitching him away as they don't want him to hit home runs. But what he does is he just stays there. And he's not afraid to just take this right here. Look how deep this ball gets where he hits it.
Jimmy, you remember his first hit as a Cardinal in spring training? It was this.
Yep.
Staying on it, taking it to right field.
Well, that's the way the game used to be played, right? You take a hack, you get behind in the count, you take a little bit less of a swing, but you're still trying to put some power, and then you just do whatever they're going to give you. Game has changed in a way where guys aren't backing off of those swings, which is fine. The game has changed that way, but if you want to be the guy who has the 4th or 5th most hits since 2015, that's how you have to play. But he just does that so well. He just stays on the ball so well when he needs to. It reminds me like what we talked about with Yachty all the time. He does the same stuff, right? Yachty will take that hack when he needs to, when he knows the guy's going to throw him a strike, fastball, something he can get into. And when he knows it's not going to be that easy, he'll just slow down and you'll let the ball get deep and he will just take what you give him.
Room on the right side here. 0-2 the count on Paul DeJong. In the dirt, kept in front by Nunez. That was the Cardinals' 8th hit in this ball game. They've hit a couple of home runs. 2-run homer by Bader in the 2nd. And then Jack Flaherty, his first major league home run back in the 3rd. The 1-2. And a strikeout of DeYoung. Cardinals have struck out 9 times tonight. Genesis Cabrera throwing in the Cardinal pen. So Gilbreth in relief of Sheffield, who gave the Rockies 2 scoreless innings, the 6th and the 7th. Cardinals got their runs off of Austin Gomber. Former Cardinal with 5 innings, 5 runs on 6 hits. One ball and 1 strike. He had an interesting debut, did this lefty. Allowed a home run on his first pitch in his major league debut, then allowed a base hit, induced a game-ending double play, threw a total of 6 pitches. Only pitcher in major league history, or rather in the last 20 years. 1 inning, allow a home run, throw 6 or fewer pitches in a debut. And the 1-2 pitch to O'Neill.
You got me thinking about this one right here. You're saying he got through an entire inning, 6 pitches?
That's what I'm saying.
With a home run.
That's what I'm saying. And a base hit. So a home run and a single.
So that would be 2 of the pitches.
Ground ball double play, ground out, or whatever it was, and see you later.
Well, at least he stayed with it.
You'd be shell shocked in your major league
to be
debut.
honest with you, I just when you said that, I think we've seen it a couple times, and we saw that episode last year. Was it with the White Sox where we had a guy give up a bunch of homers? But I don't know if there's anything worse than you could go out there for your major league debut and get beat around or give up a home run right away.
Out to deep right center, and the catch is made.
Because pitching is such a mental grind as far as anything, right? I mean, everyone's got good stuff, but trying to get through it. But to go out there your first time and just throw some good pitches, and they end up on the other side of the fence, and think nothing goes right. I mean, it's not like as a hitter, remember my first game, you could swing through some fastballs and think, all right, well, I just got to make an adjustment, right? But this, I mean, the other way is like, wow, how do I get a guy out at this level? Could be devastating.
Yeah. Roel Ramirez last year found that out. 4 consecutive home runs allowed to the White Sox. Now managed by one Tony La Russa. Harrison Bader, 2-run homer back in the second, fly to right twice. 1 for 3 tonight.
Still wearing those Bruce Bolt batting gloves that Landon loves. It's all about it.
So what is it about the batting gloves?
I don't know. I think that is actually a young man who was about 18 years old at the time within the last couple of years. 16 years old, I'm hearing, over my shoulder, that started his own company, and they have now gotten so big that guys are wearing them in the big leagues, and guys love them. They're a little bit thicker. They got a big wrist strap. We have a couple pair at the house, and we were lucky enough to have been sent a pair to the luckiest 15-year-old on the planet, and they're amazing. So good for him, Bruce Bolt. Coming soon to a closet near you.
You got it.
You'll be next.
Wade Miley, no hits through 8 innings in Cleveland. 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. It is a 0-0 game, by the way.
Just taking a look at Harrison's picture up there on the scoreboard, and wow, his hair has grown in a hurry. Went from bald to some locks.
Takes a strike. 3-2. Runner off with this pitch. That'll be Nolan Arenado.
He's done such a nice job so far this year. I love the at-bats. Just seems more calm. Good things to come out of this young man right here, I think.
Big gap in left center. There goes Nolan Arenado. Out to deep right center. And the catch made by Garrett Hampson. We head to the ninth, and St. Louis on top. Budweiser player of the game, Jack Flaherty tonight on the mound. 7 innings, 3 hits. No runs, walked 1, struck out 6 along the way. Flaherty also a little damage at the plate, picking up his first ever big league homer. No doubter.
That was a pretty impressive game by Jack right there. I don't think he had his best stuff. I think he had good stuff. I don't think he had his best control, but sensational game. I mean, like I said, this young man is becoming something special right before our eyes.
So the top of the lineup, Genesis Cabrera is into the ball game. Tapia is 0 for 3 tonight. Twice he has flied out to left. And the first pitch is strike. Rockies with just 3 hits. Base hit into left. And that is the Rockies' first base hit since back in the first.
It's a nice piece of hitting considering what has happened in the last week or so. Staying in on this breaking ball.
Flaherty retired the final 13 following a walk in the third. Helsley at a 1-2-3 8th inning. So 16 in a row until that base hit by Tapia. Now Trevor Story. Almost had the feel of like the Shelby Miller game. Shelby Miller gave up leadoff base hit and then 27 up, 27 down. And that was against the Rockies.
You know, that's one of those ones you're like, what could have been? About the that had the one hitter, the ball bounced over the mound.
Ryan Zimmerman against Michael Wacha.
Yes, I was at that game. I was watching from the front row, and I about started to cry.
2 outs in the ninth.
Oh, he was throwing so well too.
Matt Adams was at first base. He did as much as he could with the stretch. Pete Cosmo was at short, made it close, but that's baseball.
It was unbelievable.
I thought he was going to get it.
Me too. That would have been so awesome to watch. Couldn't happen. Better guy, hard worker.
Michael Wacha now with Tampa. So is Rich Hill, who is perfect through 5 tonight.
Got some pitching going on tonight, huh?
Yep. 2-1 the count. Cabrera to Trevor Story here in the 9th inning. 2-2. Stays 2-2. Well, Cincinnati has gotten a 3 spot And they lead 3-0 against Cleveland, and they are in the top of the ninth. Lined up the middle, diving catch, Tommy Edman.
Just nothing he can't do, huh?
Just everywhere, isn't he?
It is awesome to watch.
And a strike on Ryan McMahon. Out of play, 2 strikes. One out, runner at first. Two away. Charlie Blackmon. The crowd rising to their feet. It's 4 for 25 against lefties this year. 2 outs, runner at first, and Blackmon looks at strike 1. Cardinals trying to go back to 5 games above the 500 mark. Pickup win number 19. The 0-1. Now 0-2. Oh-2 pitch, fastball. The 1-2. He struck him out. Ends it with a strikeout and a shutout for St. Louis here in game 1, 5-0 over the Rockies.
Another impressive game by Jack. Nice job by the relief corps. Tell you what, it's just a nice game all the way around, and like I said, I think we're starting to see something special here out of number 22.
4th shutout of the season. 2nd time that's happened when Jack Flaherty is on the mound. Nolan Arenado facing his former team. A couple of hits. Nice play down at 3rd. All adds up to a 5-0 St. Louis win.